All right. We are back with the Third Floor Comics podcast. Back and I hate to steal from Mike and Mike, but back and better than ever. They don't use it anymore, so why not take it?
They're
Back
not
in
using it, are they?
no.
Okay.
Greenberg's is getting paid $80 million to for ESPN, but he does do a lot of work, so that I guess he's worth the money. Let me see something. All right, got a comment here. John David Petrie, what's going on, man?
Well, they say imitation is the best form of flattery, right?
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of that, imitation years ago, I used to always get people, mainly females. Do you know who you look like? And what it was is, it's my bald head. They'd always say, "Oh, you look like Montel," and "Hey, Buffy, you look like Montel." And I don't think Steve Harvey was bald yet back then, so he still had hair. But mainly Montel and Tupac is what I used to always get.
Oh,
Montel,
really?
Tupac, yeah.
You didn't use
Montel.
that unscrupulous way to your advantage or anything, did you?
No,
Uh,
no. Give me just a second here to try to share this. Let me see if I can share it. But we do have some cool things going on today. We got some Batman to talk about. Tim and I will go over, the Batman films and give our thoughts on who was the best and what films were the best. And we have, which I'm very excited about this, South Park to commemorate their 25th anniversary. They've got a new version of Chocolate Salty Balls. And one, one of the best songs ever. You can't go wrong with that. One of the best songs ever. Let me find it here. Daniel Radcliffe, some news about Daniel Radcliffe, some Tom Brady news. So I'm not going to hate on him. So I don't want people to freak out. I hurt some feelings the last time I talked about Tom Brady on Facebook, but
did you really?
it's okay. Let me share it to a page. There we go. All right. Last time I didn't share this right to my own page.
Captions are auto-generated.
Yes. Let me see what the comment here is. Buffy said, "Put them in your mouth." The chocolate salty balls. It's sad that the way that went down with Isaac Hayes and them him leaving the show and all that stuff because of
Yeah.
Scientology and everything. It's pretty sad. You would think that they would come to an agreement with such an iconic um, character, and he himself is iconic. So I'm very, very sad, very, very sad for that. But uh, you want to jump into? We'll jump into some Tom Brady news. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, okay.
Let's
All
talk about
right.
Mr. Brady.
Yeah, so everybody knows who Tom Brady is. He played quarterback for a few years in the NFL. I think he
He
spent
was a hack.
he was okay. He was all right. What, 2 or 3 seasons in New England and maybe 1 or 2 in Tampa Bay, something like that. He won a couple trophies, broke a couple of records, maybe 1 or 2, something like that. But let me pull him up here. There's Tom Brady. He and his very masculine jaw and his eye black. Ladies love him. Ladies love him. He's a good looking dude. I mean, don't get me wrong.
He's
His
got. You can say that he even has leading man looks, can't you?
yeah, he definitely has leading man looks. Let me bring this up here. Let me find this here. Good old Tom Brady. Hold on here. Let me find this. Let me close that out. So Tom Brady's after football, he's working on a movie here. And if I can pull it up, here we go. Let me find it here. Tom Brady. I'm not going to hate on him today. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So, all right. So Tom Brady to star and produce in a Paramount comedy called 80 for Brady. Here we go. So 7-time Super Bowl champion and recently retired football player Tom Brady is making the leap from the gridiron to the silver screen as Brady is set to act in and produce 80 for Brady. It is a road trip comedy for Paramount and Endeavor content. According to an individual with knowledge of the product, Paramount Pictures acquired the worldwide rights to 80 for Brady from Endeavor Content, who will produce the film. The film also stars Lily Tomlin, I love her, Jane Fonda, hadn't seen her in 80 years. Rita Moreno and Sally Field. That should be interesting. That's a mighty combination. Sally Field and Tom Brady.
Sally Field.
He may be a Smokey and the Bandit fan, or what was the movie she was in? It wasn't Beaches. It was what's the one movie that all the women like? What was it? Her and Julia Roberts.
Fried green tomatoes.
It was either that. It was either that or Still Magnolias. I can't.
Still Magnolias, I think is what you got. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Still Magnolias.
Fried
All
green.
the ladies love fried green tomatoes too.
Still Magnolias, yeah.
So, 80 for Brady is inspired by the true story of four best friends and New England Patriots fans who take a life-changing trip to the 2017 Super Bowl to see their hero, Tom Brady, play, and the chaos that ensues as they navigate the wilds of the biggest sporting event in the country. So that should be interesting here. You know, I like Lily Tomlin. I like her a lot. You can't go wrong with Sally Field. Let me see what they say. Yeah, Buffy said Still Magnolias. That's right. Still Magnolias.
That's kind of a cast for definitely an older generation, though, isn't it? Other than Brady, I mean, Lily Tomlin, Sally Fields, those were stars back in the late 70s or early 80s.
Yeah. I think what Lily Tomlin would be maybe the newer generation. Wasn't she in Austin Powers?
Was she?
Yeah, she was Frau, wasn't she?
Really?
I think that was her in Austin Powers. I believe it was. Hold on a second. Let me check something here. But yeah, that is an older cast. It's very odd that they would pick those older actresses to do that. Very, very odd. Oh yeah, Buffy says Lily was in 9 to 5. Another
9 to 5,
classic movie with Dolly Parton, 9 to 5. It's cringy. Have you watched that recently, like in the last, I don't know, 10 years? Watch it because the movie itself is very cringeworthy at no, and I'm not talking about the acting or anything like that. I mean, what I'm talking about is, because the movie is built on the idea that, well, not the idea, it's a fact, especially back then, that women are treated differently in the workplace and aren't paid equally and things like that. And that is a fact. But where it was in the 80s, a long time ago, it was even worse. So it's just kind of cringe-worthy. Like when you watch it now, you're just like, oh my God, that's bad. That's very, very bad.
There are a lot of movies that haven't translated well to a modern audience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what did I watch the other day? 48 Hours.
Oh,
Nick Nolte. Oh, it was real cringeworthy.
yeah. The banter between the two.
Yes.
Yeah. That's. I don't know if that will make it today.
I don't think it would. Or even Blazing Saddles is kind of. I mean, although it's all parody, it's still. You watch it now, it's kind of like ooh.
Oh yeah, I mean something similar to that. I'd seen something a while back, and I think I was reading it online, and it was talking about, I think it was Airplane, and I think it was the scene where they were talking about speaking Jive Turkey or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and Blazing Saddles was on that same level,
yeah,
of stereotypes and things like that. But it was funny. It was comedy, so. Buffy says that her fave was the alcoholic lady that always said, "Atta girl."
Speaking of a movie that played on stereotypes a lot, have you ever seen the Kentucky Fried Movie?
No, I've never even heard of that. Holy cow!
Check it out
sounds
sometime.
bad.
Oh, in mid late 70s, it was like a lot of short skits. It was almost like a movie version of Saturday Night Live with different character actors in it.
Mm-hmm.
Catholic Girls in the Skin was great, and Catholic Girls in the Sin was a great skit on it. And our dead boy Billy, I think. Definitely got to check that out sometime.
And you said it was what was it? Kentucky Fried People?
The Kentucky Fried Movie.
The Kentucky Fried Movie. Okay.
Yeah,
it's Kentucky Fried Movie.
It doesn't translate well to today's humor, but kind of sit back and watch it. It's still somewhat funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even comedy shows, comics, stand-up comics, and them touring and stuff. I mean, it was even stuff recently. Yeah, Lily was in 95 Still Magnolias. Yeah, let me see what the new comments are there.
Some
Or
Isaac Longer.
Shailin Soccer.
Yeah,
I've
haven't seen
never
that
heard
for a
of that
while.
name. Just join it in. But does Kung Pao, the Wrath of Punky, I know his name. You know what? I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to look that up
You ever
when we
seen
get
Kung
done.
Pao?
No,
Has a
I have
talking
not.
tongue. I think it's one that has a talking tongue that throughout the whole movie.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. And the shock value too of those movies in the 80s and the 70s. I'm not sure how much they would translate today. I know something though that would be big today, and that is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I think that
Mhm.
would even be bigger today than what it was back then when it was originally um, released. I think it would be bigger today. Right, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It's amazing the crowds that movie still draws. We
Hmm.
did a midnight showing of it at the right in our when Regatta is the Halloween fest we do at Nitro at the at Riding Park every October.
Hmm.
We did a midnight showing of it, and we probably had 50 cars to show. We did it set it in like a drive-in movie kind of setup.
Hmm.
Probably had 50 people show up for it, 50 carloads of people. We had people out in the parking lot dancing and singing to it. For a little small town event, it drew a lot of people for an old film.
Yeah.
That's one of the movies that just I'd hate to see. They did a remake of it, a live remake on TV a few years ago,
Oh wow.
and I think it bombed though. I think it seriously bombed.
Well, I mean, it's tough to it's tough to do something when you have number one a legendary iconic film, and then number two, who was it? Tim Curry,
Mhm.
and oh, what's the guy from
Meatloaf,
Ghostbusters?
Susan, no,
Meatloaf,
Meatloaf is in it.
Moranis,
Susan Sarandon, yeah, Rick Moranis is in it.
Rick Moranis,
Uh,
yeah.
Barry, what's
Chrissy
his name?
says his name.
Barry, God, played asshole.
Oh, I can't
Barry
remember.
something. Barry
Yeah.
Bostwick.
Yeah, I mean, legendary actors, and Tim Curry is one of those guys that he's done so much that if you looked at him now and you showed someone who didn't know who he was a picture of him, like a modern picture, and then a
Mhm.
picture of him from Rocky Horror Picture Show, they wouldn't believe he was the same person.
Oh no,
No, he kind of looked like um Freddie Mercury a little bit with a perm or something, I guess you would say, sort of.
he's definitely channeling something there.
Yeah, he was channeling something. You got that right. But yeah, the Tom Brady film, that'll be interesting. You would think something like that. You would have somebody like Melissa McCarthy or something be funny in that. Um, he said he did too many time warps is all.
He is the devil. I did not know that he's the devil in Legend.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Good to know.
Let me see here. Um, got a lot of stuff to do here. We got Batman to talk about. Let's run through these here just a minute. I know you got your show here, your thing here at 8 o'clock. Your what is it you got going on tonight? I apologize. I always forget.
Oh, you're fine. We do the Thrifty Thursday Facebook sale. It's
Mhm.
a general merchandise sale and antiques live on Facebook.
Awesome.
It's reply sale.
And guys, don't forget too that if you haven't already, be sure to go over to Third Floor Comics and follow the page, like the page. There's also the what's the name of the records and the vinyls and
It's
the
a modern vintage.
modern vintage.
Modern vintage. About 2,000 records in stock and add new stuff every week.
Mhm. And then there's the just the regular Nitro Antique Mall. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So make sure you guys follow those pages. They got really nice stuff there. You can get some cool deals on stuff on the Facebook auctions and things like that. They're posting stuff every day, and he has his live auctions. So make sure that you guys go check that out. So old Daniel Radcliffe and from Harry Potter, he is going to play Weird Al Yankovic in a movie, which
Is
I
it like
think
a
is pretty.
biopic of him, or
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, let me pull this up here. I actually have a picture of him as Weird Al. It's the first picture
really?
that's been released. I thought I had it here. Let me find it. Let me see if I can pull this up while we're live. See if
You
I
know,
can get.
Weird Al is doing a series of a tour this summer, this year, and he's playing all small venues for a more intimate setting.
Mhm.
But he's not playing any of his parody songs. He's just doing all of his original songs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think we're going to go see him in Pittsburgh right around November or so.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, Daniel Radcliffe. That's a picture of him as Weird Al Yankovic right there. That's the very first picture they released from the film that's coming out. Um, let me get something here real
I
quick.
had those same glasses in junior high, I think.
You might be able to find a pair in your shop there. I'm sure that
Probably.
there's something laying around there that you may be able to find. Yeah, well, as a kid, Weird Al was one of those things. As for me as a kid, I had friends that listened to him, and I knew some of his songs, but he was mostly known for his parodies. But his original songs were really, really good as well, and they get overlooked because of the parodies. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, his like you said, his original songs are really, really good. Let me see here. Daniel Radcliffe transforms into Weird Al Yankovic in they got the first look. It's going to be on a Roku biopic, is what it's going to be
Right.
on Roku. Let me see here if I can find a release date. A lot of the younger people might not know who he is, but it's one of those. I don't even know if there's any artists today that do things similar to what he was doing. I'm not sure. I know that. Do you remember when he? Who was it? It wasn't Nirvana that. Oh, it was Coolio.
Yeah,
Him and
he had
Coolio.
meltdown.
Yeah, yeah. Coolio did the song "Gangster's Paradise" for what was the movie? Do you remember the movie? Had
I don't know
Michelle
what the
Pfeiffer.
movie's for.
She was a teacher. Michelle Pfeiffer. She was a teacher.
Oh,
Um,
I
gosh,
remember the movie, but I don't remember the name of it.
but he did the song "Gangster's Paradise" for the movie with Michelle Pfeiffer, where she was a teacher. Because in the '80s and the '90s, there was always that teacher movie where the teacher was teaching in the hood or the ghetto or somewhere out somewhere crazy, and the students loved him in the movie. It was one of those type deals. But Weird Al did a parody of Gangster's Paradise called Amish Paradise, and of course Coolio got upset about it because Coolio said that he didn't get permission to do it. But
Mhm.
that was a big thing in the '90s. I remember that very, very well. Good old Coolio. Let me
Yeah, I
see.
believe he. I don't believe they have to actually have permission to do the parodies.
Hmm.
It's covered under copyright law somehow.
Hmm.
But from what I understand, most time Weird Al would actually get the permission, but for whatever reason, in this case, he decided not to.
Yeah.
And I've heard that they've kissed and made up since then, so who knows?
I remember when um, Kurt Cobain said how cool it was that Weird Al would parody their song. He
Mhm.
said he knew he made it once Weird Al did that. And I thought that was pretty cool of him to say
He
that.
was huge in the 80s and 90s, up about the mid
Yeah,
90s or so.
yeah. I don't think that's what it's funny because I don't think that he would get by with the song "Fat." I don't think that would go very well.
No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. He did "Eat It" to Michael Jackson's "Beat It" too, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think that would go very well either. Yeah. So, South Park. Everybody knows what South Park is. South Park is going to commemorate their 25th anniversary. No, I don't want to do that. Let me stay here. And what they're going to do, let me pull it up here. Let me find it. Where do we go? Here we go. All right. So South Park releases orchestral rendition of Chocolate Salty Balls for the 25th anniversary. is what they're doing. South Park is celebrating its upcoming 25th anniversary with the announcement of a new episode set to premiere on March the 2nd, as well as a 30-piece orchestral rendition of its hit song, Chocolate Salty Balls. That song, by the way, for me, it never gets old. Dangerous Minds. Thank you. Dangerous Minds was the movie that Michelle Pfeiffer was in. Yeah, that Chocolate Salty Balls the song never gets old for me. And you know, we were talking earlier before we went live and how it was the shock value of South Park that really put people onto it. You know, little kids cussing, and you had Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo, and all that other stuff, the shock value of it. But you really weren't a fan, were you?
Me? No. I watched the movie in a few episodes when it first came out. Then here recently, I think I just watched the coronavirus episodes where they're all adults. It's pretty good. I mean, I know enough about the show that I can piece together who's who and what's what. And Jessie was with me watching it. She's coached me along as to who does what. And she's picked out certain episodes that were life changing for her, and she'll make me watch those with her as well. The Man Bear Pig
that was good
show episode, and a few of the others that I guess are exceptional South Park episodes. She insists that I watch those with her. But at the time, I watched when it first came out, and it's kind of like,
You know, I went to the movies to see the South Park movie, and I don't think I've showed you before, but I still I can actually see it from over there, across from me. I have it sitting up. I still have a box of Cheesy Poofs that they sold in the theater. I still have it. It's never been opened.
Are they sealed?
Yeah, it's the box is all beat to crap, but the Cheesy Poofs they've never been taken out of the box, and so I'm curious to see what they look like now. They got to be black as coal.
We should find a box of those on eBay, because we don't want to touch your box. Obviously, that sounds like it's an iconic piece of your collection over there.
It is,
but
it is.
We should find a box that hasn't been opened yet and eat them live on episode.
You know what? That I'll leave that up to you, or Jody might eat them. Jody,
pawn that off on me.
Yeah, you might can do that. What's the fella that you had downstairs in the card section?
Tim.
Tim might do it. Yeah, Tim or Jody might do it. Yeah, I have a friend, a good friend of mine. I was laughing at him. I think it was about a week or so ago. He took a bite of bubble gum that was in a pack of cards, like from the 80s.
Yeah,
and I thought, holy cow, better man than me.
Very crispy now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you could probably cut somebody with it. To be honest with you, you could probably use it to assault someone. That pack of gum. It's called the Batman. Actually, it's coming out soon.
Yes, I can't wait.
Robert Pattinson. I always miss his name because I always want to say Patterson.
Yeah, I've been corrected on that several times myself. So
it's hard not to say because you think of Patterson, but it's Pattinson. Before you see it, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you found out that he was cast for the role of Bruce Wayne, Batman?
It didn't bother me as much as it did most of my customers. A lot of my customers were like, "Oh no, glittery vampire or whatever." But glittery vampire, the role he took in Twilight, it's a role,
right?
I'm sure he's been. I haven't watched anything else he's been in, but I'm assuming that if they're casting him as Batman, there's reason why.
Sure, absolutely.
So I try to approach it with a very open mind. I mean, when Keaton was cast as Batman, nobody liked the idea of it. Nobody liked the idea of Keaton as Batman, but he's proven to be the best Batman, as many people see, the quintessential movie Batman.
Yeah.
So I like seeing movies with a different twist on them. I like seeing different actors play the old the iconic roles. I like to see that kind of thing. So the fact that it's him is playing him, I don't care. I mean, I'm going to trust it to the people that make millions of dollars to choose the right people to do the right roles.
Well, when I first heard the news, I too was one of those people that I was kind of like, really, that guy? But if you think about it, a lot of times movies they usually a lot of times before they even put pen to paper, they have who they want to play certain roles. And so I'm kind of curious to see if he was their first choice, or they had other people audition for it. But I would think that something like Batman, like that they probably sought him out, and they probably sought him out for the reason of the fact of the way that he looks, because he's not. It's as far as a good looking dude, he's not on the level of a Christian Bale or somebody like that. Um, so I think they wanted that gothic type of look,
Mhm.
to begin with. So, and for people who say, oh well, I'm not going to watch it, and blah, blah, they're going to watch it. You're going to watch it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They might not tell anybody about it, but they're going to watch it.
hmm Yeah, you're going to watch it. I'm excited for it, and I can't wait to see it. I think there hadn't been really horrible Batman movies. There's been not so good ones, but it looks good. It looks dark, so I'm
It
excited.
looks brutal. It
Mhm.
looks brutal is what it looks like. I mean, some of the previews, the fight scenes just look absolutely. It doesn't look like kind of Batman movie you want to take your 8-year old to go see just yet.
Oh no,
I mean, it looks like he's just a brutal vigilante. So,
yeah. When there's the one clip where he's taken on. Well, there's the one where he's got the one guy by himself. He's beats the crap out of him, and then there's the one where he's like fighting 3 or 4 guys at one time, and he's just going nuts, and he's just beating them like he's a possessed man. That kind of creeped me out. I was like, well, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm gonna pull Robert up here. There he is. Yeah.
emo
See,
Batman.
yeah. He's kind of got that look like he reminds me of Edward Norton in Fight Club right there.
If that guy came in my store shopping, I'd either A, keep an eye on him, or B, stay the hell away from him. Look at that stare.
Yeah, that's a guy that you definitely don't want to ask for directions or anything like that. The one thing that caught my eye um was it Chloe Kravitz,
hmm
that's Catwoman. I like that. I like that. I think that will be cool. And then of course, let me pull this up here. You have oh gosh, Colin Farrell as the Penguin.
Yes, I'm excited to see that.
Do you think it'll be better than Danny DeVito?
I think it'll be different than Danny DeVito, definitely. Better. Who's to say? The Danny DeVito Penguin is more of the cartoonish, the cartoonish style character. I
Hmm
think, obviously, I think this Penguin is going to be a more violent kind of criminal. Which it's interesting to kind of note how the Batman movies have progressed over time. The Tim Burton films were dark by the standards of that day, but compared to today's standards, they're not necessarily all that dark now. But as they've brought this character through all the different franchises, it keeps getting darker and darker and darker, which
hmm
makes sense. I mean, his fan base has gotten. I'd say the biggest fan base of Batman is still my age and right around my age, probably from 45 to 55.
Yeah.
And as we progress in age, it seems like that character is getting darker and darker too.
hmm
Kind of, I don't know if they're bringing that along with today's times are darker, or whether it's the audiences are more adult now. And they're trying to cater movies to a more adult to a more adult theme,
hmm
or where they just used up the source material for the more tongue-in-cheek kind of the fun kind of Batman.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think going back to what you said about the two Tim Burton films, Batman and Batman Returns, and how for that time they were dark. And I had a conversation with a guy years ago when the Dark Knight come out, and he was like, oh, he was significantly younger than I was. And I was explaining to him, I was like, well, The Dark Knight is a great movie. a great movie. But I was trying to explain to him the impact of the Tim Burton movies, especially the first one, the Jack Nicholson playing the Joker, how big it was, because that was the first time that we actually saw The Dark Knight. What we had prior to that was Adam West and his tights and the blue and gray suit, thing, and the kapow and all that other stuff. So it was huge. Now, when you go back and watch it now, and in my opinion, there's really not much to the movie as far as action and things of that nature, but um, it was groundbreaking. It was a huge movie, and I think what kind of killed the Batman vibe, especially for me, is when Tim Burton stopped after the second one with Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer and Christopher Walken. They got real. That's when they really got cartoonish. When you had Val Kilmer and George Clooney play Batman, and that's when it really got cartoonish. Let me pull this picture up here. Let me see here.
Yeah, Batman Forever was kind of like the pinnacle of the cartoonish movie Batman, which when it came out, I couldn't stand that movie.
Hmm.
But it's kind of aged well in a certain kind of tongue-in-cheek way. I mean, that was my son's favorite Batman movie up until the Christian Bale films.
Yeah.
But it's so over the top. It's kind of comical. It kind of really goes back to the cartoonish kind of Batman.
Hmm.
And like I said, it's not really aged well. But as an adult going back and watching it now versus a young adult or as a kid, it's more enjoyable to watch now than what it was then. So
Yeah. Well, what's sad is the cast, especially at that time, was huge. I
yeah,
mean,
top notch.
yeah. I mean, Jim Carrey was up until that point. He was. What would you say? Him and Mel Gibson were probably the two biggest at that point in the 90s. Because Samuel Jackson was there, but he hadn't become Samuel Jackson yet. There was
Tommy.
Tommy Lee Jones was huge. Nicole Kidman, Chris O'Donnell was kind of that up and coming guy. But the rest of the cast was just huge, and I think it was hard for me to go from Tim Burton to those guys because it was very colorful, it was very vibrant, and it was just weird.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: between I'm pretty sure Michael Keaton's your guy, right?
I really have a difficult time picking my favorite Batman. I mean, it's got to be it has to be between Keaton and what's his name? Shit, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
I have a hard time going back and watching the Christian Bale films because of the comedy actor that does the comedy skit of that and makes fun of his voice. I can't remember what his name is. There's a series of shorts on I think crack.com, something like that, where there's a whole series of Batman skits. They're making fun of the Christian Bale Batman,
right?
And I can't watch Christian Bale Batman movies now because of those, because they parodied it so well that I can't take it serious.
Yeah.
But when those came out, I mean that was my favorite Batman, hands down. Period. End of story. So it's still kind of a tie between those two. I could pass on Val Kilmer and George Clooney completely, or even Adam West for that matter.
What Val? For me, I'm right there where you are. I'm in between Michael Keaton and Christian Bale. And Christian Bale's voice, though, it does sound kind of like he's constipated a little bit.
Yeah.
Where is she?
There's a whole skit about Christian Bale trying to find the right voice for Batman.
Yeah.
And it's like a 5-minute skit, him the actor just pushing out different voices, different copies of famous actors' voices, stuff like that. And it's funny as all get out, but it kind of ruined the original for me too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. His Batman voice is very, it was like it was pushed too hard. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't. It just wasn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't believable. I guess you would
Yeah.
say. You know,
I
it
do have to give a strong honorable mention to Ben Affleck though. I really like his Batman. And I would love to see a series of films put out with him as that older, grizzled, angry, beat up
Mhm.
Batman kind of character. I really liked him as both Bruce Wayne and Batman.
You know what? Me too. And I'm glad that you said that because I forgot all about Ben Affleck. I had everybody else up here but Ben Affleck. I'm glad that you said that because his Batman was totally different than everybody else's Batman, and he brought back that that Playboy vibe. He
Mhm.
brought that, like you said, that older yet tougher, older. Sorry, I'm laughing in the comment.
Uh-huh.
Older, tougher, uh, Bruce Wayne and
Mhm.
Batman, and it was I liked it a lot. But when I first saw that Ben Affleck was going to play Batman, it put me in the same category as Robert Pattinson because you when you see Ben Affleck. We went through the whole J-Lo thing, and Ben was doing movie after movie after movie, and he kind of got stale with it. He got on that Seth Rogen level before it was the Seth Rogen level. You were kind of just
Mhm.
like tired of it. But I thought he played it really well. I really, really do. I really do. The Val Kilmer, I think his Batman voice was almost as bad as Christian Bale's.
Have you watched the documentary on Val Kilmer? I Am
No, I
Val.
haven't.
Um, he's out there. I mean, he's way out in right field.
Mhm.
He's out there now. But there's a certain part where he's talking about taking the Batman role. And when it's first offered to him, he jumped on it because he iconic role. I've always wanted to play this. Blah blah blah. Jumped into it with both feet, and he said he absolutely hated it because
Wow.
it didn't give him a chance to actually act. He was basically a man in a rubber mask, and everyone acted to him, and he just had to stand there as a prop,
Wow.
basically. He said he absolutely hated it. That's why he didn't do. They offered him a second one, and he
Mhm.
turned it down to do The Saint.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. What a lot of times when these actors get in character, like in superhero movies, you'll find that sometime down the road they'll complain about um, the the what they went through just to get in character. Like not that I've seen her complain, but I'm sure she will at some point. Like Zoe. I'm gonna mess her name up. Was it Zen?
Deschanel or
No, 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 no. That
oh,
not the girl from New Girl.
okay.
Um, Zoe, the lady that plays Gamora,
Oh yeah.
Zoe Zan something Zan. It starts with a Z, I believe. Her last name something like that. But I did see something. They actually offered that role to someone else before her, and the lady turned it down because she didn't want to sit in makeup for 8, 9, 10, 11 hours just to get into the character of Gamora. I'm sure that can be brutal to
I'll
sit there
bet.
for hours and hours and hours and do that. I don't know if I could,
I've
honestly.
heard that's why Jennifer Lawrence signed out of finally came off of X-Men
Oh
because
yeah.
the makeup for Mystique was just so grueling and long. Hey, real
Mhm.
quick though, Melvin, can you say "I am Batman" for me?
Let me see what I can do here. Let me see. She wants to know. Yeah. I don't know. I'll do it here in a minute. Let me build up the nerve to say I am Batman. So
Ah, come on, you better that.
yeah. But no, I mean I couldn't imagine just sitting in a chair for hours and hours and hours and hours just to put makeup on, to put a costume on. But
I don't know
you
if you're
know,
making $1.2 million for 6 months.
mhm,
That makes sitting in that chair a little bit easier, I think.
I would say so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so. They speaking of money, not to get off topic here. Speaking of money for roles, I'd read something not long ago about how little that oh, what's his name? What's the name of the guy? Chris Helmsworth. He
Hmm.
didn't even make $1 million to play the first Thor movie because he was a nobody.
Yeah,
I think it was something crazy, like 80 grand or something like that
it's
to do the
insane.
first tour. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was like 80 grand, 70 grand, something like that. It wasn't very much to play Thor. And but you know, a lot of times in superhero movies, that's what they do. They go out and get no names.
Hmm.
That way they don't have to pay them big dollars to do that. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna pull some pictures of some Batmans here. Let me pull up the dark. Let me pull up here. What did you think of? Did you like the voiceover for Bane?
Not at first. It's grown on me because of the parodies that come with it. I didn't like that movie at all. Actually, that's probably my least favorite Batman movie. So I mean, from start to
Really?
finish, yeah, I was so mad by the time I left the movie theater.
Wow. I liked it better than the first one. With we were making fun of him the other day. Liam Neeson.
Hmm. Oh, I love that one.
I like this one better than that one. I in the beginning the voice like you kind of I heard it and I was like what? And then the after I watched it a few times, I was like, okay, I can kind of get on board with it because but it is very odd when you have someone, you know, muscular and big like that. You would naturally you think his voice is going to be, you know, deep like mine.
Hmm.
So it was very weird to have that intellectual sounding voice come out as his well, I won't say mouth because you didn't see his mouth move, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to come out of it. Very, 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 very strange. But
that's another casting choice that when it first came across when we started talking about, we're like Tom Hardy as Bane. I mean, is he big enough to play Bane?
mhm,
Is he muscular enough to play Bane? Is he because Bane's a huge character. That's how he breaks Batman's back and everything. He's just so big.
yeah.
But I wasn't on the Tom Hardy line for that until I watched the movie Warrior.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you've seen that yet. Now he plays a MMA fighter.
I haven't seen that one.
Definitely put it on your list. Fantastic movie. But he comes out in that as the fighter in that, and he's just ripped completely.
Mm.
I mean, ripped and ferocious and everything. He's everything you think Bane's going to be, other than the over the top muscles.
Hmm.
But that's the movie that kind of totally sold me on Tom Hardy as Bane. Which of all the characters in that, I probably enjoyed the Tom Hardy character more than most of them.
Hmm.
Just what disappointing about that movie was, Batman has such a huge rogues gallery, and we circle back to the League of Shadows with that. Like, just give me something else. Give me a hint for something else. Give me anything else. We had the Scarecrow in the first one. Of course, Heath Ledger died, so they couldn't do any kind of cameo with the Joker in the second one. And then it just didn't gel for me. I wanted something different, which
Let me ask you this here. By do is Tom Hardy's Bane better than the Bane from the previous Batman?
I think the Bane from the previous Batman, the size that I don't remember what the actor's name is. It's pro wrestler. I don't remember who played him, but the size and the look of the Bane looked better. But the Tom Hardy Bane was better as far as being real, as far as the way the character was inside the book. In
Yeah.
the first movie, they portrayed Bane as being just a big dumb musclehead, basically.
Hmm.
And Bane's actually a very intelligent character, and they captured that with Tom Hardy. I mean, both of them were kind of off mark from what the original character is. But if I had to pick one or the other, I got to go with the Tom Hardy version.
Let me ask you this. I've got mine right now, but I want to hear yours first. Your least favorite character, or you can say the worst character of any of the Batmans in the movies.
My worst favorite character in the Batman movies.
Your least favorite. Let me see what the
Favorite character.
And when I say that, I just mean about the movie itself is what I'm saying, not like just period, like through the I mean, just in the movies.
Mm-hmm. Least favorite character though. I don't know. I'll think on that a little bit.
Isaac Congress says he dug the style of Bane and Leto
Yeah.
Joker.
I really like Leto as a Joker.
I still hadn't seen that.
Have you not?
Mm-mm. I'm still hung up on Heath Ledger's Joker,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of hard for me to see the um a newer version. No, I'm sorry. I've seen, no, I haven't seen the Jedi. I was thinking of oh, what was the dude's name that played the Joker in Suicide Squad?
Leto.
Okay, so who was? I'm sorry, I'm getting him confused with the Joker movie.
Oh, that was
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, so I haven't seen that one. So the Jared Leto Joker in Suicide Squad, I didn't like that one, but I still like Heath Ledger better.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the psychotic part of Jared Leto's Joker was better. He was more unstable the way, that you kind of think the Joker would be, but I still like Heath Ledger's Joker better. My least favorite character in any of the Batman films by far is Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Oh, come on.
That was terrible. That was terrible by far. Terrible by far. In my opinion, that was terrible. It was awful.
Worse than Alicia Silverstone? Who should play Batgirl?
Batgirl. Yeah. I've gotta say, yeah. Dave Shelman said, "What?"
That's Dave's favorite Batman villain right there.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. It was. I just felt it was just awful. I thought Mr. Freeze should have been a little bit more nerdy. I thought he should have been smaller. I just couldn't see a pumped up Arnold Schwarzenegger that with broken English, playing a scientist. It was just odd to me. It didn't do anything for me. And Alicia Silverstone is Batgirl. Is right behind him. Let me see. He says Phoenix to me was the most relatable to the modern day middle class people who, like he says, just needs one bad day. Yeah, there you go. That's
falling down.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because I know we got to go here in a few minutes because you got your sale coming up at 8. Who is your? I know that you're in the middle on your favorite Batman between Keaton and Bale. Mm-hmm. Outside of Batman, outside of the Batmans, who, and you said Ben kind of comes in third there.
Yeah.
Outside of Batman themselves, the character, who's your favorite character out of the movies?
Oh, Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, pencil trick, bam,
That would be his Joker would be it for me. And I would say for me, maybe second would I really liked, and I'm not definitively putting them at this spot, but it's just the first thing that came to mind. I really liked Anne Hathaway's Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was awesome. I liked her far better than Halle Berry, and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman was really just kind of it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't.
It was all show, not a lot of go.
Yeah, it was just. Yeah.
Now I have customers that would argue tooth and nail that it's Michelle Pfeiffer for them all day, every day, day in, day out.
Well, it's the suit is what it is. Yeah. I think she has the best looking suit, but as far as her ability to portray the character, it just didn't do anything for me. When you have a situation where, in my opinion, that Christopher Walken was better in the movie than she was, then that's an issue for me.
Christopher Walken though, he's just classic.
Yeah,
I loved his character. What was Max? I don't remember what his last name was. Max something.
Yeah, it was Max. I can't remember what his last name, but his first name was Max. If you had to go with just one Batman to keep,
mm-hmm.
and throw all the others away, which one would you keep?
Ah, gosh, that comes back to your favorite Batman, really.
Well, not necessarily, because you might have a Batman movie that might be better as a whole than and you not necessarily love that particular Batman actor in comparison to another one.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna probably catch some flack from me if anybody listening, but I'm gonna say the Affleck Batman.
Oh wow!
I'd like to see that character. If it's like, okay, we're gonna pick one Batman to do another series of films with. go,
Mhm.
he's the one that I want to see his story told.
Wow. Okay. You caught me off guard there. I wasn't expecting that. If I excuse me, if I had to pick one Batman and throw them all away, just the movie. Now, I'm not talking about the Batman himself. Just the
Mhm.
movie. I would say it would have to be the Dark Knight for me, and I could throw the rest of them away. Just Heath Ledger's performance in it. I mean, he to me he was the movie. He was bigger than Christian Bale. He was bigger than Batman. And he to me he was the movie. Like you could in my mind you could reverse, you could flip everything around and title it Joker,
Mhm.
and it would still have the same impact because his role was so big that it could have been just a movie titled The Joker and it would have been okay with me.
Do you think that movie would be? I mean, that movie's a lot of people. For a lot of people, that's their favorite Batman movie because of that, because of the Heath Ledger role inside of it.
Mhm.
But do you think that if he hadn't died immediately after that movie was made and before it was released, do you think it would be as iconic of a movie for some people? Do you think that the
I
air
hate
of
to
death
say
around it kind of?
I hate to say it, but no. And here's the thing is that when you have um when you have death, um it becomes a part of your generation because you know the next generation can't relate to it because the person is no longer there, and you kind of hold that individual, no matter if it's an actor or if it's a musician or if it's an athlete or something like that, you kind of hold them as your own, and because you witness everything firsthand leading up to them that person's passing. So I think a little bit of it. I think that it does have an impact on it, but I still think the movie itself, for me, is just the best. And even with Heath Ledger, I mean, honestly, he really like humongous box office wise.
Mhm.
Before that, he did what, A Knight's Tale, and
Yeah,
of course, there was the cowboy movie. I can't remember what it was called.
Brokeback.
Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback.
Yes, Brokeback Mountain. So he really didn't have a whole lot. He was in what was it? The 10 Things I Hate About You or
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. So it wasn't like he was doing, knocking them out of the park movies prior to The Dark Knight. But again, yeah, I think that I think it does have an impact on people how they view the movie because of his death, lingering around it. So yeah, I could say yeah. I could say yeah.
I say the first act of that film is my favorite part of it. One thing, the bank robbery scene up to the point that he's dealing with the other
Mhm.
gang members. For me, as that movie goes on, the longer it gets, deeper it gets in that movie, the less I like it. And it's a
Really?
great movie, yeah. But like the third act when he's got everyone tied up like on the barge, and
Mhm.
then he blows everyone up. It's like it just for me, it feels like that movie just keeps on going and going and going and going. Like they should maybe cut it off half hour earlier somehow. But first 2/3 of it, I absolutely love. It just for me, it just goes on too far.
I felt the same way about the next one with Bane. I felt that it kind of kept dragging on and dragging
Yeah.
on. I do love, like you, the opening scene of The Dark Knight. I like it when he's standing on the sidewalk waiting for the van and the camera zooms up on and
Mhm.
he's holding the mask down. It kind of zooms
Yeah.
in, and that was pretty nice. I like that. That really catches your attention. Like, okay, here we go. We're straight out of the gate. We're already doing something crazy. But
It
yeah,
feels like almost like a 70s crime drama than it does a superhero film.
mhm. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I wanted to ask you too here because I know you got to go because you got your 8 o'clock um show there. Let me see here. If you had your pick, and you may not be able to answer this because I wasn't prepared to ask you this. So if you we'll just start at the bottom. Let me ask you this:
Mhm.
if you could pick, if you were doing a Batman film, and you were going to use all the characters that have previously been used in the films, Who we'll just say who would we'll just start out with Catwoman. Who would be your Catwoman?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Okay. Now, okay. So,
I mean,
no,
actors.
No, it could be anybody.
Okay,
It's
cool.
yeah, somebody does it doesn't have to be. It can be someone that's previously played it, or you can have someone in
people
mind
know.
that you would like to see.
Oh gosh, this would be tough because my knowledge of new actors and actresses isn't great.
We'll do this then. We'll just keep it for people that have previously played the characters. So, out of the Catwomans, who would you pick?
Hathaway.
Okay. Joker.
Ledger.
Well, Penguin, there's only two, so we don't know about Colin Farrell yet, but we'll keep it Danny DeVito, and if you could pick someone else to play it, because we don't know about Colin Farrell yet.
I would pick the guy that played Penguin inside the series, the Gotham series.
Okay.
I liked him a lot.
The Riddler.
Again, the guy from the Gotham TV series. I don't know what his name is, but yeah.
Okay. Who else we got here? Bane. Would you stay with Tom Hardy?
Probably.
I don't know. Okay. Let me see here. Robin.
Do we have a choice? We have Chris O'Donnell and who else?
Robin is tough for me because I didn't think Chris O'Donnell was bad. Well, you could actually, even though we never saw him in the Robin role, I don't want to call him a kid because he's not a kid, but when you understand what I'm saying, the kid from Terminator 2,
Edward Furlong.
Yeah, was he was in Terminator 2, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe not. Furlong's Terminator 3, isn't he? Burt Ward, Dave Shaman says he'd be a fun Robin.
Yeah, because technically he was Robin. He just didn't become the Robin yet. He would have had they kept going. Let me see. I know you like Affleck as Batman.
Yeah.
Let me see. If there's any other characters that we could throw in there. That's about it. I think Jim Carrey was a little too over the top for the Riddler. I mean, he's when you think of Jim Carrey, you kind of he could play it, but if he were still alive, I would have taken a younger Robin Williams.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, to play that. He said Alfred. Who's
the best Alfred?
I like the first one. He was wise. But he really wasn't. He wasn't too much into Bruce's business, but he was. But he kind of wasn't. I like Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something we'll have to come back to here in a couple weeks. And
Alfred, have you watched the new Alfred show?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen it yet either. I won't try it.
And this is based on the character from Batman. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Well, but let me pull this up here because I know you got to go. The new Batman film called The Batman. Let me see when it comes out here. Do you know when it comes out?
March 3rd.
March the 3rd.
Yeah, it comes out next Friday. Well, it comes out. The official release date is next Friday. I'll put my calendar here. The official release date is March 4th, but they started showing it actually nighttime on March 3rd.
Okay. All right. March 3rd, March 4th. Tim, what's your 8 o'clock you got going on?
8 o'clock, we have the 50 Thursday sale on Facebook. 50 Thursday on Facebook sale. I need a better name than that. It's something that's a little more catchy. I don't get so tongue-tied on. So the Nitro Antique Malls 50 Thursday Facebook sale. That's what it is.
50 Thursday Facebook. That is a tongue twister there.
Yeah.
I'll have to get that on the t-shirt.
Real fast. Melvin, you still haven't said I am Batman yet.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Here we go. I am Batman.
There you go.
How's that? I am Batman. Where is she?
That's pretty
Where's
close.
Rachel?
Rachel.
Where
Martha.
is she?
You're
8
sliding
o'clock
the movie.
is
Martha.
his 50 for I won't say 50 for 50. His 50 for Facebook sale starts at 8 o'clock. Is at the Nitro Antique Mall page.
It's on it's on its own webpage. It's on its own Facebook page, which is the 50 Thursday page.
50 Thursday page. Okay. So make sure you follow that. Make sure you follow Third Floor Nitro Third Floor Comics. Make sure you follow the Nitro Antique Mall. Make sure I'm going to get the records one wrong again. What was it called? The records one.
Oh, it's called Modern Vintage.
Modern Vintage. Make sure you follow that. He's got tons of great stuff, tons of great deals, things that that's just awesome. So make sure that you guys go check those pages out, follow them, like them. And Tim's got a show at 8 o'clock. We want to, as always, thank you for checking us out, hanging out with us. Share if you will. That'd be awesome too. And then we'll see you guys here in 2 weeks. We gotta let Tim go so he can go take care of his business. And it's Thursday, so I gotta finish watching my Lincoln series on History Channel.
Lincoln series.
Yeah, it's a good series. It's a 3-part mini series, I believe. So
check that out. Need some good to watch.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Very, very good. So we will see you guys here in a couple weeks. And as always, we want to thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us, commenting, and we'll maybe we'll get some people on. Maybe we'll find something the next 2 weeks and we get some people on to hang out with us.
Be fun.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks. Tim, you got anything before we cut you off so you can run?
No, that's it. I'm done for the night.
All right. All right. Hey, thank you guys. We'll see you here in 2 weeks. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot, guys.
I'm Batman.